Hello, my name is Joshua Chipitsoto. I'm going to talk about my problem solution essay, in which I treat mainly relativism as a big framework, and cancel culture and post-truth culture. I also explain some possible solutions that may help to address these issues. First, I would like to introduce what post-truth culture is. Mainly, post-culture is a framework in which every opinion has the same equal value, because there are multiple possibilities of truth, and those possibilities means that there are multiple truths. So every single lived experience has their own concepts and their own truths. This comes from the framework of relativism, where we don't have an equal framework to understand the world, but every single person individually and through his subjectivity has the conceptions, their own conceptions to understand the world. The other topic is cancel culture, that is related to post-truth culture, but cancel culture is more about when hearing things that we disagree on, the mainstream intention is to erase or to censor the person that is emitting that object of disagreement. Why is cancel culture related to post-truth in my essay? Because I made a relation between post-truth culture establishing a framework in which every single opinion is equal, so we lack the argumentative tools to filter and to analyze arguments and opinions, no matter if they are based or founded, or if they are not, and there are disinformed opinions. Under that framework, when hearing things that we disagree on, our or mainly reaction is to censor the person that is emitting that object of disagreement, because we don't want to hear things that contradict the concepts through which we explain and understand the world. I also give an example from a British filmmaker who made a controversial statement by the time around the conflict between Israel and Palestine, saying that it was a genocide committed by Israel. What that example help us to understand is how the instant reaction was not to try to disprove their arguments based on the arguments made by this British filmmaker, but the first intention was to nullify the person itself, erasing him from the public sphere. And in our era, that means erasing him from public institutions. He was fired from his job, and erasing him from social media. He was almost prosecuted through social media. So this lack of tolerance, it's related to the lack of tools to counter-argue things that we disagree on. And that leads to the cancel culture, because we don't want to hear those things. I also explained some possible solutions to address those issues. I mainly focus those solutions around the educational institutions. Consider that fostering debates and fostering disagreement from very early ages are very helpful when building a framework of tolerance and an intellectual and reason focus education, because I consider that educational institutions have a social duty that is educate the future and the current citizens. So under that framework, if we want an intellectual and reasonable citizen, we should do that through their educational institutions, and of course through other institutions, but I don't speak about those institutions such as family and churches and things like that. By fostering debates and by fostering disagreement in the educational institutions, I use an example of kids deciding where to go for their field trip under a set of options already analyzed and studied by directors and people in charge from the institutions. But by doing so, they are forced to get used to the logics of politics and the logics of debate and disagreement, and respect the opinions that we disagree on. So the mainly solution was to foster those debates, the structural debates, and those disagreements, and this dialectical construction of knowledge that comes from the mix of disagreements. Okay, that was all. Thanks a lot for your time and for your attention. See you.